Welcome to Mindful Chatting, a podcast where therapy meets real life. I'm Kristen, a therapist, business owner, and a lifelong student of what it means to fully show up in our relationships, in our work, and in our healing. Here, we unpack mental health concepts, explore mindfulness tools, and talk through the messy, beautiful, in-between moments that shape us. Whether you're a fellow clinician, a curious listener, or someone navigating your own growth, this space is for you. Let's chat. Welcome back to Mindful Chatting. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You block out time in your planner. You set the reminders. You even prepare yourself to feel productive. And then the time comes and you feel an instant physical no, I'm not doing that. You stare at the task with dread, maybe even disgust, and think, why don't I want to do this? What is wrong with me? Well, friend, nothing is wrong with you. This episode is going to explain exactly why this happens in ADHD brains and what you can actually do about it. So grab your cozy drink, wrap up in that comfy blanket and soft hoodie, and let's settle in for a chat about time, motivation, and your brilliant but misunderstood brain. I want to start off with this. ADHD brains experience time differently than the neurotypical. We're often described as having time blindness, which is basically a distorted sense of now and later. But here's the deeper truth. Our brains don't just struggle to see time, they actually struggle to feel it. Most planners assume that if you schedule a task for Tuesday at 2 p.m., you're just magically going to want to do it at that time. But for ADHD brains, it doesn't really work like that. And here's why. ADHD brains operate on a now or not now system, not Tuesday at 2 p.m. When we schedule a task in advance, we're making a logical decision from our regulated brain state in the moment of planning. But when that scheduled time arrives, we're in an entirely different emotional and physiological state, and that's why we don't want to do it. But here's what's happening on a nervous system level. When the moment to do the task arrives, your brain does a rapid scan. How tired am I? How overstimulated am I? Is this task emotionally safe? Do I want the dopamine reward this task will give me? If the answer isn't a strong yes, your body may go into a subtle fight, flight, or freeze mode. That feeling. It's not laziness. It's a physiological repulsion driven by low dopamine, high stress or a sensory overload, and emotional resistance. And this happens to me constantly with emails. I'll block time to catch up on emails in my planner, and then when the time arrives, my body recoils. Suddenly, I'm too tired, I'm too annoyed, or too overstimulated to even think about my inbox. It's not because I don't care. It's because my brain has decided that task isn't worth the energy or the energy I need for it right now. Neurotypical productivity advice will say, if it's important, you'll make time. But ADHD brains don't work that way. We do care about these tasks. We do plan with the best intentions. But our brains don't store commitment the way that others do. When we schedule something, we're only committing to it in that moment of planning when we're motivated and calm. We can't predict how we'll feel at the future time when we plan the thing. And when that future state doesn't align with our past plans, we feel like we've failed. And this mismatch between planned intention and real-time willingness is not a character flaw. It's neurological wiring. Now, here's where we flip the script. Instead of trying to force yourself to stick with the plan, what if you worked with your wiring? Here's what's helped me and what I teach in my planning stack system. I teach energy matching. Before starting any task, I ask myself, what's my current energy level? And is this task appropriate for right now, or do I need to swap? I also talk about flexible task blocks. Instead of rigid time slots, I use task buckets. Low energy tasks like maybe emails or folding laundry. Then there's medium energy tasks like notes and errands. Or there's high energy tasks like recording or writing or deep focus. I let myself swap tasks based on my real time energy state. I also talk about visual cueing and reminders. Instead of relying on memory apps or any of that just alone, I use sticky notes, timers, physical visual reminders to trigger task switching. If this resonates with you and you've struggled to find a planning method that respects your ADHD brain, I'm currently building a course specifically for this. It's called the ADHD Planning Stack, and it's designed to help you create a system that adapts your real energy, not just your good intentions. And you can sign up for early access or beta testing. There's a link in the show notes. Before you go, here's your takeaway this week. Next time you feel that physical ugh toward a task you thought you'd wanted to do, pause. Instead of shaming yourself, ask, what's my body telling me right now? Do I need to adjust this task or my environment? Remember, it's not about forcing yourself to push through every time. It's about learning to listen, adapt, and work with your brain's needs. If this episode hit home for you, you'll want to stick around for next week. We're diving into the myth of dopamine and motivation and why just finding your why isn't always enough for ADHD brains. Until then, thanks for spending this time with me. And as always, remember, your brain isn't broken. It just plays by different rules.